Hi, everyone. Jane Applegath here, founder of the Epic Vision Zone, where we say life is too short to be quiet. Each show, we offer you an inspiring person or message to bring you closer to living your epic life's story out loud. Thank you for being here. You can listen to the audio version on your favorite app or watch it on YouTube and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Television personality, model, and former Paralympian swimmer Victoria Arlen said, "The moment when you feel like giving up is right before your breakthrough." Darlene Greene shares her miraculous story of overcoming multiple health issues and caring for her husband, who was diagnosed with early Alzheimer's. From breaking free to overcoming the odds and never giving up, Darlene discovered this new technology that dramatically improved not only her symptoms, but her husband's as well. A modern female warrior of sorts, Darlene has had over 26 years of experience in executive leadership and senior management positions across diverse industries. She has 20 years of military experience where she earned her MBA and held 3 commanding officer positions and created the Returning Warrior Weekend Workshop to help military members and spouses reintegrate successfully. Today, Darlene's mission is to help people take charge of their own health so that they can live a full and inspiring life. After experiencing the amazing results for herself and watching family and friends have their own miracles, Darlene is passionate about sharing a groundbreaking technology that is improving people's well-being. A driving force for her remains, why didn't I know about this 2 years ago? Where would my husband be right now if he had started using this technology earlier? And who out there needs to know about this now? Darlene asks that when an anesthesiologist says, "This is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime," and when over 300 Olympian athletes use the technology in the 2008 Olympics, aren't you curious as to what it could do for you in addition to making you look and feel younger? We welcome Darlene today to the Epic Vision Zone. Darlene, what inspired you to do the work that you do today?
Oh, thank you. Jane, it really came about for both of us, my husband and myself, toward our journey for health. I've been interested in health for decades now. When I was first diagnosed with my first autoimmune disorder, and then 4 additional ones, there were lots of symptoms and really nothing that Western medicine could do to help, right? If there's no drug and there's no surgery, there's no cure in their mind. But there really are alternatives and there are options. And so my life has been exploring those alternatives for better health for quite some time. When my husband was diagnosed with neurological decline, the kind of thing that you forget your memory, you die from, right? This is a pandemic and an endemic of its own throughout our country. And that ended up changing our lives entirely. He was just 64 years old. And I started looking, and everything that people had to say was, well, there's this drug, but it's only good to slow the progression. And by the way, it can cause a brain bleed in 50% of the people that happen to have your gene type. So that's not a good option. So everything that I kept finding in my research was focused on stem cells. And I really didn't know a lot about stem cells. Like I didn't know that when you're 30, half your stem cells are dormant. I didn't know when you're 60, they're almost all dormant. I had a lot that I needed to learn. And I started that journey by going out of country and getting embryonic placenta stem cells and trying that via IV on 4 different occasions for both him and me at very, very high expense, the kind of expense that makes you think, okay, this isn't sustainable. If this doesn't work, we can't keep doing this. And it didn't do anything. We tried hyperbaric chamber. We completely revamped the diet. So we were eating really clean, taking out alcohol. We'd taken out really soda. We'd taken out sugar. We were really eating fairly low carb. And not, if it was genetically modified, we weren't including it in our diet. It was grass-fed, grass-finished meat only, very high quality fats only, like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, those kinds of things. The rest of the oils were taken out. We were working on sleep protocols. We were also training. Exercise is really important for the brain, more important than people really understand. Of all the things we were doing, probably getting a coach and a trainer to actually work the muscles and build that and get blood to the brain was one of the most important. And we both did that. He has a trainer 3 times a week. I see them once a week, but we work out 6 days a week. So we tried all of these things, and nothing slowed the progression of the disease. And so as a result, my husband was at a place in time where he was napping 3.5 hours a day, really falling asleep all through the day, and even at 7 o'clock at night, even though he was getting 9 hours of sleep. But worse than that, he was disengaged. He was no longer even trying to have a conversation or trying to talk, and he was essentially like a zombie. And I'd lost him. I'd lost his personality. He was always funny and flirty, and that was the core of who he was. And he wasn't that way anymore. And so we started with this stem cell activation technology. And I mean, in the very first week, he didn't nap. He was conversational. He was so with it. He was answering questions. He was responding appropriately. I was floored. I just couldn't even believe it. And over time, he actually, in that first week, I would say by a few days, he was back to his original personality, funny, flirty, and things continued to progress. So over time, other things like he regained the ability to whistle. He regained the ability to drum. He actually had lost his sense of smell, Jane, 15 years ago. And that's an early warning indicator for the diseases associated with neurological decline. I didn't know that. And so what happened was at the 5-month mark, he regained his ability to smell. That was really huge. His blood pressure dropped 37 points. He had bald spots, pretty significant bald spots for 20 years since I've known him. And that started closing in. In fact, I was just kind of pointing out that you can see all of my new hair growth. It's like still standing up, all these little baby hairs all over the place. So we had a lot of wonderful things happen. And I was really grateful because I told sort of Jim's story about what happened for me, different. But I was in, with all these autoimmune things, my symptoms included things like I would pass out standing up. I didn't have enough blood pressure going to my brain. And so they wanted me on a medication that actually increases blood pressure. Doesn't that sound like a bad idea all around, right? But that was what they wanted me to do. And I was having trouble because I would pass out and I would hit the corner of a door, or one time I hit the bathtub, and one time I was grounded from driving for 2 weeks because they had to try to figure out what was going on for me. I had things, the body aches that are associated with an autoimmune disorder. I was getting colds and sick all the time, and I would get sick, longer and harder than anyone around me. Ultimately, I was just really sad. I wanted to cry every day. I had exhausted everything I knew to try. And I didn't worry about the fact that there were over 90 double-blind placebo-controlled studies on this technology. I was just like, sign me up. It has to do with stem cells. I understand the power of stem cells. They're your own stem cells that we're activating. That's huge because obviously I've tried somebody else's and that didn't work. So let's give it a try. And so when I saw results in the very first week, I was like, well, this is extraordinary. Mom, dad, sis, you guys need to do this. Cousin, aunt, uncle, you guys need to try this. And the stories kept coming in, right? The miracles kept coming in. I had people saying to me, you can't even believe how you've changed my life. And that continues to this day. And so something that really started off as just a desperate measure has now become something that I've become an activation technology consultant because I'm so passionate about helping other people. And I'm a little angry that I didn't know about it 3 years ago. To your point in the opening, that if I would have known about this 3 years ago, I think we would have had, I know we would have been in a very different place than we are today.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's an incredible story, Darlene. And, what really strikes me is your resilience and also your sense of curiosity, because you dug and you dug and you researched, and you said you didn't know anything about stem cells and all of this information that you've gathered and you've accumulated. And it put you on the journey of where you are today. And it's technology has helped us so immensely, and I know that it will help us in the future as well, even more so. And it's such a relief to be using something that is more in sync with your own body as opposed to prescription drugs. Because, like you said, there's always those side effects. There's those issues that they might mask the symptoms of one thing, but they're affecting another. And it becomes, and then you have to take something for that symptom. And of course, then you're just taking prescription upon prescription, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I
Yes.
love it.
And
Go
I don't
ahead.
think everyone understands that, it would never have occurred to me that activating my stem cells would lift my depression. I would never have thought of that. Like that my sadness
Mm,
would just disappear, that I would just all of a sudden feel
right.
happy and grounded, not just healthy, but it never occurred to me that potentially part of the issue is inflammation in the brain, that can be restored. That, everyone wants to look, feel, perform, live younger, right? Well, stem cells are the key to that. I mean, they are not only vital to our immune system because they can repair and regenerate damaged cells, but they're what made us to begin with. They're the body's raw material. So they reduce inflammation. They trigger the death of old cells. They get them out of there. They differentiate into, they can be muscle or bone or cartilage or fat tissues, and they replicate. So not only does this technology activate the dormant stem cells that are in your body, but then it causes them to replicate and regenerate. And that is
Mm,
just extraordinary. It really makes all the
right.
difference in the world.
The methodology of this technology has to do, as you and I talked about earlier, is that we are all an energy source. So I love this. Tell us how it works using light and phototherapy,
Yeah.
and why we respond so well to this, because we've all known for quite some time now. There are still those who don't believe it, but we all are energy. And so I love the story that you told me earlier about the light, and how it's called phototherapy. So give us some insight into how this technology actually works within our bodies.
Absolutely. So, we know that light therapy has been around 5,000 years, and there are, hundreds and thousands of studies that you can look up in PubMed on light therapy. And most of us understand also, when you go out in the sun, your body makes vitamin D or melanin. And we also know that you have light inside of you. If I were to look at you in night vision goggles, I would see light inside of you. I actually really love that too. I love that there's light inside of us. So the technology that we are using actually reflects your own light back into you at a very specific wavelength. And that specific wavelength causes an elevation of a copper peptide called GHKCU. And GHKCU is just this amazing peptide. It's amazing for the brain and the nerves, which I got to experience myself. It's amazing for the heart. It reduces the fibrinogen synthesis, which is the top predictor of cardiovascular heart disease. And it increased myostatin, which protects against heart failure. It protects lungs. It's great for skin and hair. We talked about that a little bit from my perspective. It's a huge anti-cancer. So it resets the programmed cell death of human cancer cells. And I'm talking like neuroblastoma, leukemia, breast cancer cells, but does not affect healthy cells. It actually, I
Mm.
love this, it repairs damaged DNA. It reset 84 genes to protect against cancer. So, I mean, GHKCU, it improves healing and tissue repair. It's an antioxidant. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's amazing for the brain. We talked about brain and nerves a little bit, but I was particularly interested in learning more about the brain. And there's actually a study done on our technology that was done in 2019 that's got EEGs. They did blood work, they did intakes, and the EEGs, you can actually see it, and you can see it on my website because I've got the pictures from the study actually posted. But it shows the inflammation before starting the technology, and then 3 weeks later what the EEG looks like, and then 6 weeks later, and you can actually see the inflammation reducing. The study actually found, and again, double-blind placebo-controlled study, supported cell and nerve regeneration, improved the nervous system, lowered anxiety, decreased that brain inflammation, and really improved memory, focus, and cognitive function. So I not only got to experience that myself, but I got to watch my husband experience that. So the study is one thing, but it's really great when you actually feel it and you see it in your loved one. And then there's the heart study, which I think is also what helped me so much. In 6 weeks, our technology, it basically changed our cardiovascular system so that it started functioning as if it were 8 weeks younger in just 6 weeks. And so I think it revamped my cardiovascular system, which caused me to get enough blood up in my brain. You have to understand, I have been passing out for 25 years, 30 years, a long time. And so for me to have no episodes of that in 11 months since I've been on the product, I just can't even believe it. So it's just a game changer. And most people experience the following kinds of things I'd say 80% experience positive results in 3 to 6 weeks. And there are a few that take longer. It isn't that it's not working. It's just that sometimes people aren't noticing, or they don't feel it because it's going in and working on things that are, maybe you don't feel your hair growing, right? You can see it after a time, but you don't necessarily feel it happening. You don't feel cellular repair, right? But people usually feel rapid pain relief. They can feel the results of reduced inflammation. They can see wound healing faster. They have more energy and vitality. Oh, Jane, I have to tell you about the energy. I got to see it in my husband, right? He was napping all the time, but my energy level just skyrocketed. My afternoon slump went away, and I would be in the kitchen at night cooking up a storm with health, got to be healthy food, which you can't really buy. You got to kind of cook it yourself. And they're going, I don't know why I hated cooking so much. Cooking isn't so bad, but I realized it's just that I never had the energy before. I just didn't. At the end of the day, I didn't have the energy to pull it together. So the energy and vitality is phenomenal. Better sleep right away. Second week, my husband experienced the best deep sleep that he had, and we had been working hard on that. We have red lights in the bedroom. We go to bed really at a really good time. We don't eat 3 hours before bed. We get our eyes on the morning sun. We do all the things that you can do. And still he was getting like 15 minutes of deep sleep. Well, this is tragic because that's when your body detoxes and and kind of cleanses itself, right? It takes its bath. And so we had to get that up. Well, he got an hour and 25 minutes of deep sleep in the second week of using the technology. So huge. Mental clarity improves, enhanced sports performance. People notice there's a reason over 300 Olympic athletes were wearing and using our technology in the 2008 Olympics. There's a reason that you have people like Tom Brady and Ivory Sully and the Kansas City Chiefs and Serena Williams and David Beckham and Michael Phelps all utilizing our technology. They are paying attention. There's a reason that a 40-year doctor and anesthesiologist said, this technology is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime.
Wow. Your enthusiasm, and it just bubbles over. And I know why, because you've actually experienced the results for yourself and your husband. And I know that's the best, I don't want to say sales pitch, but that's the best that anybody could experience. I mean, when you've got something and it works for you after you've tried so much. And I know that they've referred to it as the holy grail of anti-aging, because it repairs not just the issues that you might have, but also your skin, like you said, in your hair, and et cetera, et cetera. So it sounds fabulous. I mean, I know I've read about it. And one of the things that I would love our audience to understand is how this technology repairs from within. You have a very interesting video on the website, but maybe you could just explain how, when you put this technology on your skin, how it works with your body and your own actually repair system within. So maybe you could just give us a little insight into what's actually happening.
Yeah, so that is all. So when the light comes back into your body and that photobio, it's causing a chemical response, and that it starts with, so different. We have different products in our suite, right? And so the one that everyone needs to be on is this one that activates your stem cells, and that is all done because this particular light wave elevates, and it's a signaling molecule. It's communication.
Mm.
It's communication signaling saying, hey, go elevate this copper peptide, make more copper peptide. What I love about the fact that it's signaling and communication from our body within to our throughout our body is that it doesn't overdo it, right? It's a natural body mechanism. It's different than if you try to apply like a hormone cream. You can overdo that. It's different if you're trying to inject something. You can overdo that. There could be contraindications to that. But when it's your body doing it yourself, based on what it knows how to do, our body's got such innate wisdom. And so the light goes in, the light hits at a specific wavelength, it signals a molecule, and different products in the suite do different things. So we have, for example, one of the technology approaches is really great for muscle building, strength, and tissue repair. So one of the, and it reduces fat. So we hear people all the time talking about weight loss, particularly at an elderly age, right? It's really important, but it's, when they try these things like Ozempic or other drugs like this, the very first thing they lose is muscle. And the second thing is water, or maybe both at the same time, or the other way around. But the importance of holding on to every muscle pound that we have is just gets more and more important as we get older. And we need to be building that muscle so that we are strong in our elder age. We need to build our bones, and this also can build bones and extend life. We talked about the amazing effect on everything from blood pressure to stress relief, and the organs. So the organs, each of these are doing something by elevating a different peptide. And peptides, again, are sort of, but that peptide is what's really doing the work. So it's that copper peptide, for example, that's really doing the work of then causing those stem cells to be created and the growth factors to be created and the inflammation to be reduced and all of those things. So it's just magnificent, and it's so clever. And it's not only good for humans. We have a whole line of product for pets. So we can actually, after we finish with the technology on ourselves, we have a whole line that's good for our pets, and they can benefit as well. And we have amazing stories of little dogs that couldn't even walk. They were just on their deathbed, and all of a sudden, in just a day to a week, they are bouncing back, look like little puppies. And we have a whole website dedicated to people that have horses and how to use the technology for horses. And you can see in the imaging results, especially for the ones that are in pain relief, you can see in a thermal scan the dropping of temperature, where your body temperature actually dropped a degree because it's causing energy to flow. And that energy flow, you talked about energy. We think of energy, I think, today as very woo-woo, right? It's just like, or even maybe light, but people are doing infrared saunas, and they're doing blue light therapy and red light therapy and these kinds of light therapy. So we know that light makes a difference, but it is kind of magical when you apply this technology and your body temperature in that area is dropping and the pain goes away in 15 seconds. It is like, I take people who are like very skeptical, but they have a pain in their shoulder or a pain in their knee or a pain somewhere. And I'm like, okay, let's just give this a try. And I put the technology on, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, like, I don't understand, but that definitely worked. I don't understand, but that definitely worked. And I'm like, right. Now, you're not going to necessarily feel your stem cells activating, but you can feel the difference when you're getting out of pain. And I love the fact that there's no drugs, right? So now you have the people that are trying not to use drugs, the people that have addictions, the people that are depressed or have, very serious anxiety, PTSD, and things like that, there's this natural solution that helps your own body combat those types of symptoms and really changes your world. So that, and what happens is it's sort of this, it just keeps getting better and better, right? You have more energy, you get better sleep. So you work out more. You work out more, but you're not hurting the next day, and you're healing faster and you're recovering faster. So you work out harder and you can work out more often. It's like I'm not having to wait 3 days to go work out the next day because I'm not so sore anymore. And that was a real problem for me before. So you
Right.
just get healthier. More water. That's the one requirement. This technology, you have to drink a lot of water. It's really good if you have electrolytes.
It sounds unbelievable. And it just, you're right. I mean, it's something that not only is groundbreaking, but addresses so much. For me, it almost sounds like a peptide activator. Now, give our audience an idea of, we're talking about technology. So a lot of individuals might feel that you have to go in to get a treatment, but this is something
Right.
that you actually apply. You don't have to make an appointment. It can be something you can use at home, correct?
Correct. I love that. When we say we're in 87 countries, they're mailed to your house, right? The technology is
Yeah.
mailed to your home. It's super easy. It's super affordable. Like, you don't need a prescription. There are no contraindications with any medicine. So whatever, you can be going through chemotherapy and using our patches. You can
It's an
be going
application,
through
right?
an application. Absolutely. It's an application. It's when I say the word technology, that sounds kind of scary to people of some generations. And that's probably not, that's not, I don't want that to intimidate anybody. It's just the kind of the approach, right? And it's so simple. It's worn daily, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. It's affordable. The stem cell activation technology is $99 for 1 month. I paid $10,000 for an IV, Jane. 10,000 for him, 10,000 for me, 4 times in a year, and that did nothing. And this worked in the
Mm,
first week. I mean, I was like,
right.
really? I could have saved all that money. I could have a lifetime of this this technology, quite honestly, for what I spent on the IV
Yeah.
that I don't think did anything. But it's possible. One of the things that we try to do, one of the approaches is to reduce inflammation, right? So if you can reduce inflammation and activate your stem cells, you're going to get better bang for your buck, because the approach, stem cells get eaten up by inflammation. And so even if you're
Mm,
activating your stem cells, but you're not reducing your inflammation, then you may not get the results that you're looking for if you're highly
right.
inflamed. And most people have a lot of inflammation, and that's from the environment, it's from the water, it's from the air we breathe, it's from the food we eat, it's from just stress.
Right.
So we need to work on our inflammation and getting rid of those toxins. So I love the natural approach. I just think that we cannot underestimate our own body's ability to heal itself
Right.
better than mankind can figure out and try to do it with a medicine, you know?
Right. Yeah, I've heard that, and it's true that the body wants to heal itself. It does. It wants to heal itself. And that's what this enables the body to do, to help it along with that repair system. It's often that in a Western culture that we just want to get rid of the pain, or we just want to get rid of the ailment. We don't care if it masks it. We just want to know that we don't feel it anymore. And unfortunately, that's where most of the pharmaceutical industry makes its money, is by masking the symptoms, not by addressing the root cause. And this is actually enabling your own body to help itself, which is
It,
absolutely fabulous. Yeah. And
it,
so healthy for you.
so healthy
Go
and
ahead.
working at the mitochondrial level, really, affecting, repairing, improving how your mitochondria is functioning. I love that.
Yeah.
Improving your fat burning, in improving your hormone balancing, creating homeostasis. In
Mm.
fact, one of our products is really good for men. I will tell you, I've had 3 different women who have said to me, This technology needs to come with a warning for women that, you better be careful, because your spouse is going to be chasing you around the house, like, because it does so much. I mean, it's improving blood flow, it's improving
Oh,
mood, it's improving hormones, it's improving all the things that go into making, your love life robust. And so it's been a kind of a funny, it was a surprise to me. I wasn't thinking about that, but yes, it's really helping everything from people who are trying to be happier to people who are just trying to, um, be connected.
yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, I could certainly see that. I mean, if it's taking away inflammation and taking away depression and anxiety and making you feel better and more energized, yeah, I could actually see that. So tell us
Yeah.
then, is there anyone who you would not recommend this for?
Oh, absolutely. There is one person, or one type of person, I should say, and that's someone who's had an organ transplant and they have some alien
Mm,
organ in their body, a lung, a heart, a liver, a kidney, because it's going to boost your immune system so much. And most of those people are on some kind of anti
mm,
immune suppressant, right? They can't have their immune system working too well, or it starts to attack that organ. So
right.
now, that's not to say that we don't have people that are on them, even though, but they need to be really locked arms with their doctor. And if you want to, I actually have the ability to connect people with a doctor who can, you can reach out to me, and for your audience, I'll do a free consultation. I'll get them a free consultation with a doctor that they can ask all their questions to, and they can really feel assured, like, okay, part of what I do is to, you tell me what all your issues are, what you're trying to do, what your goals are, and then I tell you which products and what they're going to do and how to take them and how long and what you need to be doing, and how to stagger maybe the beginning of them. For example, one of our products is phenomenal at elevating glutathione. Well, Jane, glutathione is your body's master antioxidant. It is also your
Mm,
major detox pathway. Well, as somebody who has been autoimmune challenged for decades, I was taking glutathione orally or via IV for, I don't know, years, really, especially entering in a pandemic, right? This was core to, I would do everything I could. And I knock on wood, have not had the virus. So I've been very fortunate. But people who live the longest in the world have the highest levels of glutathione. So what I found out was
mm,
that little, my oral application, it improved my, it improved my glutathione levels for 7 minutes. It had a half life of 7 minutes, and my
mm,
IV was only elevating my glutathione by 27% and had a super low half life. So what I
mm,
then found out is our product, it elevates glutathione, and it elevates it 300% on average, and it stays there for 24 hours. Well, guess what? That's longevity. That's also improved
yeah,
collagen. Glutathione helps improve collagen. It helps to increase cartilage. We have people using our product that needed. There was a study done, and they needed to have knee surgery. Almost, everyone in the study needed to have knee
right.
surgery of some kind. And in just 3 months, I think it was, of using the technology, none of them went on to have a knee surgery, because it can help promote the growth of cartilage and regenerate at a cellular level. Doctors in the Western world will tell you that's not possible, but it is possible. You can look
Right.
at the scans and the X-rays and the CAT scans and the MRIs of our people, and you can see that it is actually functioning. So it's really amazing what the body can do when it's signaled, get to work and go do these things, right?
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. And it sounds too good to be true, but the proof is in the pudding, like you said. And I know you've got on the website as well. There's so many testimonials there of people who have been using the product. And that being said, let our audience know where they can get this technology, where they can get a hold of it.
Yeah. So they contact me at my website, which is iamreverseaging.com, iamreverseaging.com. And there you can just send me an email, connect with me. You can buy the product just from the website. I'd rather you connect with me and let me help you through the process, but you can if you don't want to talk, or you can email me, we can email. But I really like to help people through it because I want to make sure they're drinking the water, that they're doing all the things, and that they're staggering. Like if they end up wanting to use the product that elevates glutathione, we wouldn't start off with that right out of the gate because the stem cell activating product is always the product that you start with, preferably the product that also reduces your inflammation. And you put those two together as a dynamic duo. And that stem cell activation product also elevates your glutathione. So you're going to start detoxing, right? And so if you're detoxing too quickly, you could have a headache or fatigue. But if you are slowing it down and doing it at a pace, sort of a staggered approach, now your body is keeping up. The last thing we want is to dump toxins and have them floating around making us feel crappy. We want to flush it with that water and do it at a pace that your body can handle it. So there's a little to it. It's not hard. It's pretty simple, especially when I lock arms with you. But that's why I'm here. And that website is available to anyone around the world. We're in, as I said, 87 countries. So it doesn't have to be, the United States only, Canada, Mexico, Europe, you name it. We can ship it there. And not every product is available at every country, but I love helping people. And as I pointed out, this has been the silver lining of this really horrible, nightmare, right? It's a nightmare to have the loved one, your loved one, become 5. He's 5 years old in cognition. He cannot, and that is supposed to continue to decline rapidly, so that within possibly a year and a half, he could be 3, and then in 3 years, he could be gone. That's the speed of the pace of this issue. And so I love that I have him back. He's not a zombie anymore. And for 11 months, he hasn't been a zombie. For every single day that we put this technology on him, he does really well, and he's communicative and articulate. But I'll tell you, when I haven't, there have been a couple of days when I just didn't use the technology just to give it a break and see what happened. Man, just slept the whole day away. He just slept the whole day away. And he wasn't able to have conversation with me. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's not even talk until we get you the technology applied. Like, really not worth, it's kind of a waste of breath until then. So anyway, yeah, I would love, they can also email me. My website is the place to start, because to your point, you can not only hear the testimonies, but you can read for yourself the 90 clinical studies. You can read the patent. There are different people that want different things. Some want to see a little video there's a 2-minute video on how does this work. Some want to see the 18-minute video on the inventor and the owner talking through how it works in depth. And there's an even longer video of him talking to practitioners. So you might have practitioners listening in your audience. That's specifically for them, where he's really kind of walking through the science in a very sciencey way, kind of over my head, but I like it anyway. There's a video of a horse, and you can see the horse getting out of pain right away with the products for them. So there's more than you can even think about on that website. But you don't have to get through all of it yourself. I'm here for you. And I would love to help you, because it makes my day to have little text messages of people that are, really, really doing so well. And just one other thing, that, there are people out there who want a home-based business. There are people out there who want to create wealth and don't like corporate and really, you do a lot in your Epic Vision Zone show around becoming successful. There are people, I will tell you, who you could just call nothing more than a chocolate mess, who are millionaires. It's like, wow, if you can do it, I can do it. Right? I'm not there. I'm really new, but even just my roommate in my training this past weekend, she has been in 13 months. She's making 6 figures. She's really, she's 76. She's not really savvy with a computer. There's really a lot. It just speaks to the fact that, you can take charge of your health. You can take charge of your wealth. you can have people that you care about and that you're taking. I mean, what could be better than something where you're helping people get out of pain and feel better and get these results at the same time that you're compensated for the time, and it's helping to pay for your technology. So there's no one really that could not afford it, because you can enter into the business just to get your technology paid for.
Right. Yes, and like you said, you're taking care of your health, your wealth, your well-being. I mean, it's an opportunity, and I love that because, as we expand in our, and especially women, I see it a lot more in women. We're a lot more, I think, open to change and to stepping away from that corporate world to see what opportunities might be there. But to me, it's the possibilities
Yeah.
just open the door, and this is a huge possibility. I mean, it's the technology. It's like you're just full of passion because it's worked for you, it's worked for your husband, it's worked for your clients. And when you believe in something, enthusiasm is contagious, and people know it's authentic. They know that you're not just spewing them a story. So yeah, I find it very refreshing and so exciting. So all of that being said, give us one critical message that you would like to share with the world today.
So I have to tell you, it's to take charge of your health and to value your health as your greatest wealth. That your health, it's not that we just want to grow old. We want to grow old and feel good. We don't just want to get there. We want to be able to do the things we want to do and know the people all around us. And there are things that we can do about that. And there is nothing that I know in the world, nothing that is better for your health, except maybe just drinking water, like than this technology. So I do believe that you can take charge of your health, and people have been told there's no cure, there's no medicine, there's no this. You can see pictures of the person on my website that had 4 bulging discs. The doctor says there's no medicine, there's no surgery, there's nothing we can do, and yet you can look, and in 14 months, you can see that disc and all of that alignment is great, and that person's not in pain anymore, because stem cells can do anything. So take charge of your health, and don't take the party line. It's not that Western medicine doctors are bad. It's just that they haven't received training in the holistic approaches of wellness prevention. They have only learned that, really, when you think about it, medical school is all the curriculum is created by pharmaceutical companies. So they're learning medicine and surgery, and that's what they know. And so they don't know necessarily about all of these alternative approaches. They don't know about light therapy or photobiomodulation. And so, if you were to ask your doctor, are you fine with me doing light therapy? Because they're all going to go, well, sure. Are you good with me going out in the sun? Well, sure. Are you good with me, eating a salad? Well, sure, right? These are just no-brainers. So take charge of your health, and don't stop or give up or play a victim card because you got bad news. It's not what, we don't get to control our circumstances, but we can control our response.
Yes, absolutely. That's a complete mindset. We have the choice. What story are you giving power to? And you absolutely are giving power to yourself, because you have come full circle and you didn't give up, and you were determined to find an answer. And you know what? The universe heard you, and it gave you this answer. So it's just amazing. And you're right. It's something that it's basically, what have you got to lose? Right? If you've tried everything.
There is a money back guarantee, so absolutely nothing, not even $1, right?
Exactly.
You don't even have to.
Right. Absolutely. So that being said, I have one last question, Darlene. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Such a good question, Jane. I guess I would say something like, so this is the title, the epic title: Finding the Sun During and After the Storm. Finding the sun during and after the storm. So, or maybe just during the storm, because, we it's very hard sometimes to be positive and to live in this present moment, be grateful for the things we have, and to focus on all that's wonderful in the world when you're losing someone that you love and bad things are happening around you. And but that's exactly when we need to be looking for and finding the sun and the joy and the gratitude and the glimmers of our life. And when we focus on those things, they grow, right? The more we're great, it's hard to be grateful and angry at the same time. And so changing that mindset is really, it's not that it's just nice. It's actually really important for your health. Like, I had 3 doctors in a week tell me, you're the care provider and the care providers often go first. So you better take care of yourself because this is very stressful. And I'm like, what? Their care provider goes first? I'm like 59. Are you kidding me? They're like, you've got to take care of yourself. And I'm just like, okay. So one of the things I've really had to focus on is finding that sun in the midst of this storm.
Yes, absolutely. Do not doubt in the dark what you believe in the light. Yeah.
That's right.
It's so true. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Darlene, for joining us here today and giving us all that incredible information. And for information and to connect with Darlene, you can go to our Epic Vision Zone bio pages where you will find all of her contact information, including her website and social media pages. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath, and don't forget to connect with me at janeapplegath.com, where you can access your free downloads, Creative Power and Vision Play Sheet. Sending you so much love and greatness. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.